guys, let's talk about Activision Blizzard. We're on a roll here. We did Marvel phase. We got to cover Activision Blizzard. And this one, big number in this story, big number in this headline. Activision Blizzard owed up to $420 million by esports teams. Activision Blizzard is owed $420 million by esports franchises. The company suspended fees during the pandemic. When you dig into this article, they mentioned Call of Duty League teams owe an average of $22.5 million. Now, the cost of admission into that league is $25 million reportedly. So teams have only paid 10% essentially of their entry fee, with the 90% being deferred. 20 Overwatch League franchises owe around $6 to $7.5 million each, and the price for entry in that league was $16 million on average, with teams having chipped in $7.5 to $10 million already. So lots of money being owed to Activision Blizzard from these teams, and essentially they've suspended these fees. I'm curious, how do you guys think this plays out? Does Activision Blizzard come to collect at some point? Do you think they have a moment where they realize, or do you think they have a moment where they realize, look, we probably charged too much. We'll just keep suspending this forever to hope that the league stays together and the teams stay solvent? Like, where do you guys think this? Fast forward a year
Lindsay,
from now,
what
happens to this? Yeah, Lindsay, go ahead.
This is exactly analogous to the student loan crisis once again. I'm out there with the Call of Duty leagues, also dodging my student loan payment, so I understand. No, I do think the league, obviously Activision Blizzard has difficulties in organizing professional leagues, to put it mildly. And so I do think that the price tag for this is a little high, especially considering not that it would have been easy to manage this through the pandemic, but there obviously was a chance for particularly online games and matches to be played, especially when professional sports were suspended. You would have expected some type of consistency or revenue generation or interest generation or something from that time. I don't think that the teams are seeing that in the way that they anticipated with the 25 million buy-in. And now I think it's just kind of it's just like student loans. It's like a standoff.
Do you think
I'll start them again, but I don't want to, and you don't want them, and nobody wants to do this, and we're just all going to keep not thinking about it.
Do you think that they will forgive the debt?
I think it kind of depends on revenue generation, and they did just get bought for $70 billion. So this is kind of, not that it's small potatoes, because it's not, but I also don't know that the league is panning out in the ways that they promised. I just think I think it's bad blood both ways. I think it's bad to sign on to something that doesn't have a great structure and agree to pay $25 million. And I think it's bad to charge $25 million for something that doesn't have a great structure. So I don't know who's going to be the first to bend. Maybe if there's some crazy revenue generation, the owners will be more likely to, but as it stands now, I don't see them going after it.
Well, they bent a lot, right? When you say first to bend, we're years into some of these leagues, right? The fact that all the franchises
bend back the other way though and charge them. Yeah.
Jeff, your thoughts on this?
I definitely agree with Lindsay. I think particularly with Microsoft acquiring Activision, the pockets for Microsoft are so deep. I feel like we talk about it so often that almost sometimes it's too much. Like I don't necessarily even agree with it, but we always say, oh, well, Microsoft doesn't even need to make money in gaming. Like they're okay with Game Pass because it's not a core part of the Microsoft business, so they're fine losing money, which I take a little bit of umbrage to that. But I think in this instance, they will probably view the greater good in terms of needing to continue to build the esports community, and they'll view it as a marketing expense. I don't know that they'll ever very immediately quickly say, hey, thanks owners, you're good, you don't have to pay it off, it's forgiven. But it may be something where they start taking a very small percentage of revenues over a number of years, assuming these leagues are going to be around for the long term, which if they're not, the league's not going to exist, and then these debts will be forgiven anyway. But I think they will do it that way, where they'll inflict the least amount of pain. Because you have to remember, these people, are very influential people. They're mostly billionaires, sports team owners, not necessarily the kind of people that you really want to piss off. Not that if you're Microsoft or something like that, you don't really care, but at the same time, you do care, right? Like if you're, Phil Spencer, Satya Nadella, like it's just it's not something you want to do, having these people who are influential people, no politicians, like it's just not something you want to do over a number that I don't think is that material to your investors. Maybe that's my tinfoil hat theory of the day, but
no, I think it's a good theory. It's if they keep delaying the payments, though, what does that do to the value of that slot, right? Like at some point, people go, well, it's not really worth 25 million. And if you ever get to the point where you want to expand the league, which maybe is a pipe dream at this point, you definitely can't keep charging 25 million if they've been delaying payments for 4 years to the people who got in the first place.
Which, to be fair, I don't think they are. Like, I don't think the newer Call of Duty League teams have gone for nearly the same amount.
Yeah, I mean,
at least up front.
I don't think. I think I agree with you. I don't think they're going to forgive the debt, but I definitely think they are concerned about the viability of the league and will not break down the door to collect. Right? There's no one showing up at the team's doors with a baseball bat asking for the rest of the money anytime soon. So, but also just very telling in terms of the viability of leagues when you have to suspend getting paid to make the league viable. Something has broken down in that chain, and I think Lindsay, you touched on that. So